In last week's episode, we continued working on the hull of Ron 3.
So I just made this simple jig out of plywood to make the scarf joint cut a bit easier.
Cedar strips were being cut and glued together, and later mounted on the hull. That's a lot of ripped cedar, and that will now go through the planer so all of them get the same thickness. The planer takes one side at a time, so after the first round, we turn them over and plane the other side.
So this is the yield of the ripping session for this time and the planing, around 250 meters of strips. And together what we already have on the hull, this should take us to somewhere around 16 to 18% of a fully planked hull. So still some way to go. The next step will be to cut the scarf joints on these and start gluing up a lot of long strips. So I'm making 5 different types of bundles of strips where the joint lengths will be different. And that's just to make sure that once these goes on the hull, that I won't have joints that will sit next to each other on the hull, that they will be spread out over the length of the hull. Right now, like I said, we have around 250 meters of strips ripped and planed. This time, and I hope that will be enough to do 16 full-length strips, and that in turn will mean that we can do another 35 centimeters of planking on each side of the hull, and then we have to start everything over again and rip some more cedar.
Spring has finally arrived, and the weather has been amazing lately. We try to spend as much time as possible outdoors at the moment.
Plocka blommor, fint.
Last weekend we built this fort. I don't know if you call it fort when it's outside. Like a branch fort from branches that has just been lying here on the ground.
Titta mamma.
Oh, vad fint. We built it together with Vera's cousins and her uncle. And it got really cute.
Fint.
Åh, fin den orange. Så fina. Och det ser ut som en liten trumpet. Eller hur?
Vad ska du göra med blommorna, Vera?
Inne.
Ska de vara där inne?
På natten.
Ja, det behöver de.
De behöver vatten.
Jag ber dig.
Ser du mig? Ser.
The mandatory fika break with ice cream boats.
Tycker inte du det, Vera?
Skål.
Then the gluing continues.
It's been a really long day today. It's almost 9 o'clock and the sun has just set, so it's really time to stop working for today. But I'm really pleased because I got 14 full-length strips glued up today, and I could have done 2 more, but I decided to wait with those because I was kind of short of space here on the side. So now these have to rest overnight to cure, and then I hope we can mount all of them tomorrow, 7 on each side. That would have been really great.
A new day and all the strips were cured. But before we could start planking, Johan removed the excessive epoxy from the scarf joints. Then we moved half of the strips over to the other side.
So now I've removed all the excessive epoxy, and it's a really meditative job. Listening to really good music. I wish you could put it on the videos, but I can't due to copyright laws. But just going here in my own world. So we have a good work setup now. So after Johan has mounted another strip, I'm there to remove the epoxy, and then he goes on the other side while I'm doing that to put up another strip. So we're changing the sides so we can continue working, and we'll see how many strips we'll get up today. I have to go and pick up Vera soon, so.
We got to borrow a pump station for the epoxy, which works really good. A big thanks to HF Marine for lending this to us.
Vad gör du?
Busseboppa.
We have lots and lots of weeds on our farm. This is ground elder, which is quite invasive and likes to take over and make so other plants can't grow. And then next to that, or in between, we have nettles. But these you can actually use like spinach, and the nettles are also really good. You can make soup or have it as an infusion in like a tea, and have a lot of antioxidants. So we'll see if we make some. Look how much we have. All this. We're here on the back side of the barn that I have cleaned with high pressure washer. So all the dirt and all the manure is gone. We still have some old manure here from when they had animals. This is what we have left. We'll try to make a compost and store it there somewhere here. It's been really windy these last 2 weeks. This season is so exciting, and to just walk around here and see what comes up through the ground. Here, for example, we have trees with berries, vinbär in Swedish. I will translate here, put the translation in English. These small little berries, they can be black or red, and it's very tasty to make a jam or just to have like a lemonade. So that was a fun discovery. It's growing back here. And then we moved all the harv. Also don't know the name of that in English. I have so many plans on what I want to do here on the farm and in the garden. But you know, it's always a question of money, especially, and of course time. Here on the old manure pad, we want to build like a pergola behind me and have a little outdoor kitchen, have the barbecue here, so it's a nice like sitting and eating place in the evenings, because then we have the sun on this side. And we want to build some stairs going out here and coming down. And then I have an idea of that old wagon that you see over there, to bring it up here, lay out new planks in it so you can sit, and then make like a little backrest, so you have like kind of a sofa, and then you make it cozy with pillows and a mattress, and that could be like another hangout area here. You can sit there, or you can lay down and watch the sunset. That would be so nice, I think. But we have to fix it up first. And then over there, in the middle of the trees, we have this super nice spot where there is no one can see you, and you have this beautiful view over the fields and the little forest over there. We want to have like a wood fire hot tub, if you call it that. It's like a hot tub that you heat up with fire, wood. That would be so cool over there. But we'll see when that happens.
Yeah, yesterday was a pretty long day. I don't know exactly what time I stopped working, but it was pretty late in the evening. And I almost got all the strips that we had prepared on the hull, but we still have 4 to go on that side. So I managed to do, together with Malin yesterday, 10 strips. And I would say 6 of those I did on my own. So the whole operation, when Malin was helping out with the cleanup, it went much faster. So that's really the way to go. But she had to go and pick up Vera in the afternoon, so the last 6 I did on my own. which was also okay, but it takes a lot longer. So once we have those 4 strips on the hull on that side as well, this will account to roughly 16% of the surface area of the finished hull. So quite okay, I think. I mean, still some planking to do for sure. And it will also get harder once we get further up on the hull. Yeah, because of gravity really. You can fall down, and the glue can also fall off the strips when you apply it. And also there will be more bending in the strips further up. You have the turn of the bilge, but also the planks will move like this on top of the hull. So it will be more complicated once we get higher up here. So it's really hard to tell exactly how much time it will take to plank the hull, because it's not as straightforward to just take a strip down here and just calculate the time it takes to mount that by the amount of strips that we need. It won't play out like that, I think. It will probably take a lot longer once we're up there. And also, the whole operation of mounting one of these strips, actually the time involved in that is so much more than just mounting that. Because you have the ripsawing, you have the planing, you have the scarf jointing, you have the cleanup of those scarf joints, and then you mount it, and then you have to clean up afterwards. So all those things together, I would say a more realistic number, how many strips we can get on the hull per day, is around 6, maybe 7. But without that, just mounting them is pretty fast, and I think me and Malin together could pretty easily do 14 to 15 strips per day, but it's not only mounting them on the hull. You need to produce them as well. Yeah, one cool thing now is that you can actually start to see the curvature of the actual hull in the planks when you're looking down the freeboard here. And that kind of give you that urge to just want to continue with the planking, because you can actually see the hull taking shape in front of you. So still some way to go, but we're really stoked to get this planked as fast as we can.
There is definitely some way to go before the hull is planked. But we keep pushing on with the job as well as with the filming, so you guys can follow us on the journey. We want to send a big thanks to our patrons who support our production. You guys make sharing this experience possible. Thanks for watching, and see you next week.